Hey there, Kelsey. Hope you're doing great. Just going to make a quick video here to offer you some feedback on your latest AP practice essay. This was the 2005 prompt over McTeague, the unsanitary dentist who slept in his office. The prompt asked you to talk about how McTeague is characterized and how that characterization is reflected in the narrator's attitude towards McTeague. And I think it asked you to consider things such as diction, tone, um, syntax, and probably selection of detail. Um, okay, so before we jump in here, I'll just give you a quick run through of how these videos work. I start the video by talking about things that I think the essay does really well, strong points of the essay, and I try and praise you for what you do well. Then I talk about areas where the essay is perhaps a little bit weaker, or things that we could tweak, or things to focus on as you continue to strengthen in your writing abilities. And then finally, I give you my estimate of what I feel like this essay would score on that 1 to 9 scale that we've discussed in class, and I try and explain why I gave it the score that I gave it. Um, okay, so let's get started. Uh, there's a lot of great things going on in this essay, especially for it being your first solo attempt at one of these. What I want to particularly praise you on is some of your word choice. You have some powerful language in some of your sentences here. So just an example here. This magnifies McTeague's strength and helps characterize him as powerful. The use of the word magnifies there is particularly striking. And then there was one sentence in here that I felt was just astonishingly well written. It's this one right here. You're talking about the quote, yet there was nothing vicious about the man. You write, while this line helps characterize McTeague as powerful, the syntactic structure of it also helps deplete McTeague of any aggression. Again, excellent verb choice there with deplete, but even the phrase like syntactic structure, that's a fairly advanced phrase to use, and you use it correctly. I mean, that's the key part. When people are testing out language, when they're trying out new words, they have a tendency to kind of not quite use the word the way that it's meant to be used in a way that sounds awkward. But I mean, this is perfect. I could not phrase that better, I think, if I tried. Um, and while we're on the point of this sentence, you do a great job of analyzing syntax. Syntax for me is I caution people not to analyze it until they know how to, because syntax is one of those things that people think they understand, but they really don't understand how to really analyze it. I've already had a few essays here that tried to analyze syntax and they just talked about diction, but you actually talk about how the brevity of the sentence, being straight and to the point, is juxtaposed against the long, extensive sentences earlier regarding McTeague's physical appearance. So kudos on being able to analyze syntax this early. That is going to give you a huge leg up. And yeah, I was just overall impressed by your analysis, not just with syntax, but just kind of overall. Your analysis here is excellent. You follow slice format well. I can tell that you have written analysis before. That is apparent in your writing. It's one of those things where you just kind of know it when you see it. And so yeah, I got nothing but praise to shower on you on that. And again, that's really good because analysis is actually the hard part to write. So the fact that you're able to write competent, fluent analysis right now, that means that you've learned the hard parts. So if everything else from here on out, hopefully, will just be a matter of tweaking what you already know and strengthening and fine tuning what you already know how to do. Okay, all of those are excellent things. Great work. We're going to transition now to some of the weaker areas or things that I feel like you can maybe strengthen a little bit. You'll notice I have these numbers here beside certain chunks of text in the passage. By the time you're seeing this video, you should have the handout that explains what those are. Um, Basically, I won't go over each one of them, but you have some passive voice in here. Passive voice is not necessarily a grammatical error, but it has a tendency to make our writing clunky and awkward, and it really makes it not flow smoothly. So So watch out for that. There's some areas where you have redundant phrases or you're repeating yourself. So if we look at your transition here between these two paragraphs, the narrator is able to get this point across by using diction, tone, detail, and syntax. In the very next sentence, by using diction, the narrator is able to get across that McTeague is a powerful man. So just the repetition of able to get across. Again, small thing, but if you can tweak it so that you're not saying the exact same thing over and over and over again, your essay won't feel forced. It won't feel robotic. Um, and then I really just feel like um, I feel like that was it. You had some awkward phrasing. You had you had some passive voice. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I have to critique on this. I do feel like this is a really solid essay, especially for your first go. I'm estimating your score at a 7. The things that keep it out of that 8 to 9 range are the little things here that I've tweaked. There are a few instances where you have writing that is kind of clunky or the essay gets kind of bogged down. I've highlighted those. And I feel like 8 to 9 essays uh, really avoid that. With that being said, a 7 for your first essay in this field is it's an excellent starting point. I just to give you a sense of, I expect most students to land in the 4-5 range. Well, let's say 3 to 5 range on their first go. So for you to land well beyond that, I think that bodes well. You're going to have time in class. Go through, look at my comments, tweak what you can, and then turn it in for a grade. But if you have questions as you revise, if you if if I've gone through this too fast, or you need any additional help, just call me over in class. I'll be more than happy to help you out. But okay, I've rambled on long enough for this video. Excellent work. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in class very soon.